God, they're really on a bullet mattress. Can't even see the pool. Leasing office. Oh my God, they're really on a bullet mattress.
Hey YouTube world, Harvest is plenty. Thanks for stopping by to check out the video. So I wanted to come back and provide you guys with an update from Hurricane Helene. And it has brought utter devastation in its wake as it hit Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Tennessee. As the headline reads, the death toll is currently up to 64, but yet there are still many individuals who are unaccounted for. So I'm sure the death toll will continue to climb. There are also a lot of people who lost their pets and their animals in this flood. Right now, I think it's between 3 and 4 million individuals without power. So that's another thing to contend with. Many hospitals have run out of gas or run out of diesel for their backup generators. So it's a lot of calamity that's going on right now that most people are totally unaware of. I was following and tracking this medic. He left a message, and I want to read it to you guys. Here's what this medic says. He says, here in the Appalachians of Southwest Virginia, as a medic, I can report it only took 3 days for fire and rescue to run out of diesel, compounded by power outages. The rescue squads and hospitals are quickly running out of oxygen cylinders. National Guard to bring in water, fuel, and medical supplies. Only 3 days, folks. 3 days. Hospitals are downgrading to emergency room services only due to water contamination. Gas stations have run out of gas. Water purification pumps have been totally destroyed. Bridges have been washed out and sinkholes are appearing on interstates. This is why we need to prep. And, I saw news reports of people complaining they have no water. They have no food. They're out of medicine. People left, in a rush to get out of the house because of the flooding. Water was coming in so quickly. They left their medicine behind, and now they don't have any medicine, and they need it. They're getting sick. The hospitals that are operational are being overrun. The backup generators are running out. One gentleman said it's been 2 days, and he only seen one cop car pass by. And as I said before in other videos, uh, police officers, firefighters, they have their own families too. They have their own houses, their own kids, family members, their parents. So they're focusing on rescuing their own people and getting them to safety before they go out patrolling. And so a lot of people, they kind of stick their head in the sand. Are they in so much denial? They're relying on the government to help them. They're relying on police and fire to help them. But that's why you need to be your own first responder. And this is the reason why we need to stay prepared, because this could happen to me, to you, to anybody. Whether we're in a floodplain or not, whether we're in tornado alley or not, whether it's a hurricane or not, whether it's a snowstorm or not, anything can happen. A train could derail, 5 miles from your neighborhood, and chemicals get spilled. And next thing you know, you have police knocking on your door and say, hey, we need to evacuate your neighborhood. And it's 2 o'clock in the morning when you get that knock on your door. What are you going to do? A lot of people are just not ready. They're unprepared. Another thing that I heard about was that people were running into grocery stores and they were buying a typical milk, bread, eggs, and all of those things, but it never occurred to them you're buying things that are perishable, that need to be refrigerated, yet you have no power. So once you cook the eggs and stuff, what are you gonna do for day 3 and day 4 and day 5 and day 6 when there's still no power? You don't have a generator, and if you do have a generator, the grocery stores are, the gas stations are out of gas. So how are you going to replenish your gas if you don't have containers, stored up or whatever case may be? There are people who are in their cars and sleeping in their cars. They're using their cars only to charge up their cell phones, burning gas, which is a precious resource. There's no information flowing right now because people don't have wind up crank radios or things like that to get information or to get news, because the bridges have been washed out, and so emergency personnel can't even get to them, and they can't get out. And so it's a lot of things like that that's taking place. It kind of reminds me about Houston and Hurricane Beryl and how so many people were unprepared. And so please get prepared. I know, and tell your family to get prepared. I know some of you probably have spoken to your family, to your friends or whatever, and your words have fallen on deaf ears, because that happens to me all the time. I have family members, I have friends, I have coworkers, I have neighbors, and I've told them since like 2015 to get ready, to get prepared, and they haven't. And many of them think it's me crying chicken little. The world is falling, because if I started telling them to get prepared in 2015, 2016, 2017, here we are in 2024, and nothing has happened. So as most people say, well, nothing has happened for the last, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Nothing's going to happen now. Well, it's going to come, and it's going to happen. And when it does, people are going to be in some very serious trouble. A lot of people are going to die. They're going to simply die. It's just the facts. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it is what it is. So get yourself together. Another thing I want to say real quick before I move on, a lot of people also move to these rural areas in Tennessee, in Georgia, in Western North Carolina, in the Asheville area, in South Carolina, and all these rural areas. Many of them built up homesteads. They got animals. They're preparing for grid down. And overnight, their preps and everything was just washed away and destroyed. Think about that. There are people who have prepper channels who are online asking for help and asking for donations because everything has been destroyed. That's why I say always make God your first prep. Before your guns, before your ammo, before your generator and your freeze-dried food and your solar panels and all that other stuff. When I said that before, people, gave me some flack about it. They took shots at me, because I said make Jesus your first prep. But if God is your first prep and you trust God, all of your backup supplies can get wiped out and God will give it back to you tenfold. Easy. He'll give it back to you 100-fold, 1,000-fold. So keep God first before everything. As the scripture says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and everything else shall be added unto you. So make God your first prep, and pray for the people in those areas, guys. Please continue to keep everyone in your prayer. Keep them lifted up. And I'll be back with more videos. I love you guys. May the good Lord continue to bless you and your family. Take care.
We are following breaking news related to Hurricane Helene here in North Carolina. We are taking a live look from a TV News helicopter flying over the Lake Lure Dam. This is southeast of Asheville. This has been a life-threatening situation unfolding there through the day. The National Weather Service said earlier that dam is at risk of breaching, and this is along the Broad River at the base of Sugarloaf Mountain, southeast of Asheville and Rutherford County, where they've had so much rain and mudslides and landslides as well. There are 3,000 people who live downstream from the Lake Lure Dam, and they have been told to evacuate, get to higher ground right away. You can see that immense amount of water rushing through the dam as they continue releasing water, hoping that relieves pressure on the dam and it does not breach.
A 36 past the hour tropical storm Helene is now moving over Georgia, with officials there reporting 5 people have died in the state. Flash flood warnings are in place for several parts. Over 1 million customers there are without power. Catastrophic flooding has led to evacuations and rescues like this one overnight, where emergency officials rescued a woman, her baby, and 2 dogs through the flooded streets of Atlanta. NBC's Priya Sridhar joins us now from Atlanta. Priya, good morning. What's the scene there right now?
Good morning, Jose. Yeah, take a look behind me here. Imagine waking up to this. This is your reality this morning. Homes completely submerged, as you can see. Take a look at that mailbox behind me here. We've been watching that for several hours, and the water has essentially not moved. It stayed at that consistent level, and that really shows you how much these houses and these vehicles in the driveways, take a look, are completely submerged. We're being told by neighbors that the homeowners here woke up overnight. One of the homes beside me here, they were able to evacuate overnight. The other one over there actually had to be rescued from their vehicles. And this is just one neighborhood. We're being told that a couple miles away, the Peachtree Creek, which is what is causing this flooding, is also led to several swift water rescues over there that are still taking place at this hour. About 25 people were rescued overnight. Authorities were going door to door, knocking on people's homes, telling them to evacuate these kinds of flood conditions. Now, Governor Kemp has issued a state of emergency, and today he announced the additional authorization of 1,000 Georgia Guardsmen to help with recovery efforts and cleaning up of debris. We did hear from Mayor Andre Dickens just about an hour ago, and fortunately, Jose, no one in the Atlanta metro area was injured very badly.
This is 600 miles inland from where Hurricane Helene hit. But in the mountains of eastern Tennessee, the flooding is catastrophic. More than 50 people were stranded for hours on the roof of this hospital, engulfed by water. With no way of getting to them from the ground, this was the only option.
It came in on the hospital. We had patients in the hospital. The chief of police, along with my nephew Josh Ollis and some more, was able to get the patients to the top floor and on the roof. And I was very concerned that we was going to lose the hospital.
And in Asheville, North Carolina, a tourist and university town now completely cut off. Rivers overflowing, straining dams threatening to fail. This unusually large hurricane was causing havoc in Georgia too.
We got you. 911, they're coming.
Weatherman Bob Van Dillen breaking off his live report to rescue a woman trapped in her car.
It's a situation. We will get back to you in a little bit. I'm going to go see if I can help this lady out a little bit more, you guys. I'll be back.
And then there is Bob carrying her out. So for
later, reuniting her with family.
You good? Yeah, don't. Yeah, man. Hey, absolutely. Hey, absolutely. Yeah, of course. Of course. Anytime. I'll do it again.
They're counting the cost of yet another hurricane in the beach towns of Florida, wondering if this life is worth it. Helen has inflicted such loss on such a colossal scale. Martha Kellner, Sky News, Florida.
Helene bringing historic and catastrophic flooding to the southeast. The cleanup process now underway across a large swath of the region as the storm has claimed the lives of at least 60 people. Helene causing billions of dollars of destruction across a wide area of the southeast. And more than 3 million customers without power yesterday. Some facing a continued flood threat today as that prolonged duration of power outages continues. Flash flooding, mudslides, landslides, all occurring in western North Carolina, isolating and even cutting off many people. Lots of towns across the southeast now in recovery mode. And the deadly storm's leftovers will continue to cause widespread disruption for the next several days. Downpours are expected once again today in the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic due to what's left of Helene as we close out the end of September. Helene's effects should finally exit the Northeast late Tuesday into Wednesday. And we have live reports this morning in Florida and North Carolina.
Helene proved to be a dangerous storm as it moved north from Florida.
Yeah, the storm leaving flood and wind damage in North Carolina and our neighboring states. CBS 17's Judith Ratana shows us just how serious those impacts are. Judith.
Ron and Angela, we can already tell from some of the images coming out of western North Carolina that the recovery will be a long-term journey. These are videos from Jay Hinton sent to us from Cullowhee, that's near Western Carolina University. This neighborhood that was once next to a river is now in the river thanks to flood waters. The rain largely slowing down there, but leaving behind a lot of cleanup and a lot of flooded homes. One state over in Tennessee, rescue crews responded to dozens of stranded people at a hospital. The roof there serving as a refuge when Helene flooded out the building and the nearby road. Luckily, no injuries were reported there. Massive flooding, though, seen across roads in eastern Tennessee. These videos are from Tennessee DOT showing roads in Coke County under several feet of water. Now, while the trucker in this video took his chance through a flooded out road, that is not advised for anyone at any time. I-40 East in Tennessee experiencing several closures today due to flooding near the roadway. In some areas, entire banks were swallowed up by the water. And while we don't have images of this yet, we know that I-70 at the Tennessee-North Carolina border is closed thanks to a mudslide on the North Carolina side. A portion of the highway there was washed away in today's storm, and CDOT saying the closure at mile marker 3 could reopen as early as tomorrow. Judith Ratana, CBS 17 News.
All right, Judith, thank you.
Turning now to the Tampa area, one that was hit really hard by Helene. Several homes and businesses underwater today as the hurricane moved up the Gulf Coast before making landfall. Local 10's Alexis Frazier takes us inside all that devastation.
Helene slamming into Florida's Big Bend late Thursday night as a powerful Category 4 storm, still deadly as it drenches the southeast. Downtown Tampa underwater, vehicles unable to get to the city's Davis Island to rescue stranded residents.
The only way we're getting people off of the island right now is by boat.
Aerial footage posted by the mayor of Tampa shows extensive damage from Helene in the Davis Islands neighborhood and waterfront areas. The mayor saying the National Guard has been activated to assist with rescue efforts. Also in Tampa, this man going viral for kayaking in his flooded home. Some people watching the now viral video saying, "This is Florida man." More than a foot of water inside Joanne Martino's St. Petersburg home.
It was coming in from every door. Didn't matter. It's probably about, I don't know, 4 feet high out there.
In Pasco County, just north of Tampa, the sheriff's department says they've rescued 200 people from the rising waters. In Clearwater, video shows the fire and rescue department tread through flooded waters to save several civilians. The storm taking a deadly turn when a sign fell on a car in the Tampa area overnight on I-4, killing the driver. The Sarasota area also dealing with rising storm surge. Experts saying between 4 and 7 feet is expected. Manatee County Sheriff's deputies were forced to evacuate a hotel as flood waters were filling rooms. Water can be seen covering the entire bottom half of the Ramada Inn. Helene weakened to a tropical storm as it moved inland, but still brought with it damaging wind gusts and life-threatening flooding. Tampa's airport has fully reopened after suspending all flights due to Helene, the storm causing more than 800 flight cancellations across the country. In the newsroom, Alexis Frazier, Local 10 News.